Hello? Can you hear me okay? Okay. Okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure if I was broadcasting there or not. Give me a second. Okay. Hello everybody, I am assuming that you can all hear me. If you can't, just let me know, or we'll turn up the mic or do something. Sorry, I'm freezing to death up here. So can anybody in the chat just confirm that? Oh yeah, okay. Thank you. Just wanted to check that I wasn't wasting my time here. Nothing worse. Okay. Awesome, thanks. Just wanted to check. Yeah. Okay. Right. On with it. Okay. Oh God. Sorry. I am literally freezing here in Scotland. It is pretty cold. It's all ice outside, my fingers are a bit stiff, so forgive me if I'm a bit slow here. But the point of this, obviously, is just... So, some people have a lot of problems with 3D Coat, and I can understand why. It's not the easiest program to use, and it's taken me about a year to work out where I've got to now, where I think I can show people what I think. It's not as bad as it looks, it just looks bad. Not as bad as Blender, but, you know, a few things are. But it is sort of simpler than it looks in a lot of ways, and that's the point of this stream, so that you can ask questions as I'm doing it. And also it will be put up afterwards and left as a tutorial if people want to watch and listen to me rambling on about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So start what we are going to build. I can barely talk here. What we're going to build is this. I need a coffin for my movie that I'm making in Muvizu, and this is what we're going to make: a budget coffin, a cheap, slightly nasty looking coffin, the sort you would put Ted Bundy into, which is what's going to happen. So that's what we're going to make. And I've also... Yeah. I'm sorry. This is basically what we're aiming for, just to get to kind of stage one, basically coffin shape. Okay. Well, I'm not going to cheat. No, in fact, we are going to cheat, yeah. Because I'm just going to... Oh, these bloody menus that I can delete that. Oh yeah, delete that. Okay. I already have my corpse lined up. Just a model, just basically It was a nice cheerful pine box. Sorry, I've just noticed that I'm forgetting to look at the chat already, sorry. I already have a character, my Muvizu character, as it happens, because it's a Muvizu. And they've got odd shaped heads, so I want him as a reference. You can just use any kind of body shape. You can use character creator to create a body. In 3D Coat, when you create a new file, you can create one with a... Oh no, I won't do it just now because it mess things up. But you can create a basic mannequin body to work with a human body that you can pose as your kind of model for things. Okay, so with me so far, okay, so we have our model and we're just in the sculpt room, which is where you all start sculpting stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a box, essentially. That's always the easiest way. Well, with this program, with everything, like with everything I should say, there are like 20 different ways to do the same thing. I'm going to try and do the easiest ways, or the ones that make more sense, I think, to most people, rather than trying to do it, you know, fancier ways, like, you know, drawing shapes and extruding them and all that kind of stuff. It's like, it's nice, and you can get cages that you can shape and form over your character, or whatever you're trying to do. You know, you can do all this kind of mad kind of shit, you know, if you want to do all that. But it's a lot simpler just to go with a box. Sorry, I like to hum tunelessly to myself as I work. Don't let it distract you. Roughly contains them, doesn't it? Yeah, that should be right. So, now that I made it, if I now apply it, I will now make it him and box together as one. I don't want that. I want a new kind of layer to put that box into. And then you have to apply it before you do anything else. This is the thing that people seem to forget with 3D Coat. It never commits you to anything. Once you've made a box or something like that, you can keep it if you want, or change it, do whatever you want to. Until you hit apply, it doesn't exist. Once you hit apply, now it's a box. But you always have to hit apply, and if there is no apply button up there, you have to hit the enter key to commit it, to actually say, I want that to happen, and then it happens. If you don't, when you click away to a different tool, then that's when things look like they disappear, because you haven't committed it yet. It's just something to remember, and it's one of the quirks, I suppose, of 3D Coat, but you just have to live with it. Right. Why is everything so low down? I don't know. Right, let me just get him up a bit there. There was a reason for that earlier on when I was testing it. I was testing the stream yesterday and it crashed halfway through, so that wasn't encouraging. Let's see, do you make it a bit? There. Alright, so we want that coffin shaped. It's sounding grim. So the number, oh my god, I would do it. When you're working in 3D Coat or anything else, you've got isometric view and you've got perspective view, and perspective view is over there somewhere. I don't know, the camera's not focused on it. Or anything. No. No. I don't know. I don't know. I rarely use it in this room anyway, but that's the thing, it's a perspective mode, like you can get different, you know, perspectives on it. Is if you're looking at it from a camera, and you don't really need that, it's just here. You just need your number keys, and it's the same as Blender, you know, you use number, what is that, number 7. I don't have one of those things to show the keys as I press them. I should have thought of that. That's stupid. Sorry, my hands are shaking, it is really freezing in here. Right. Oh yeah, fix the cameras. Yeah, I forgot. I just recently, sorry, I recently reinstalled it because they updated it, and I forgot to set it back to that settings. Yes, thank you. No, it's still anyway, it should be set to that anyway. Where was going with this? Yes. Sorry. Oh crap. We need this coffin shaped. So let's get over here to the cut off section. And this is when your tools come into it. No, it's okay. PGA is just helping me over here. Just listen to her. She knows what she's talking about. She's correct. If she says anything that I'm doing something wrong, she's pretty much always correct. So just listen to her. I'm going to use the cut off basically tool, which is your vertex. It's just like Photoshop. They said they just try to make it like Photoshop as much as possible. So I've got a symmetry turned on. I've got that turned on. I want to make it coffin shaped. So maybe about after about cut off. It's going to be hard. There. How's that look? Not bad. Oh, I keep on forgetting this. So sorry. What the hell? Oh, you. Oh, sorry. This is why it's a test stream as well, because this can go horribly wrong. Wait a minute. And there it just went horribly wrong because my hands were shaking as I was trying to click on that and I clicked on the wrong thing. Fatal in here, don't click on the wrong thing, save your work often because you'll screw up a lot like I just did there. Sorry, start again. It remembers the last thing you did when you made a box, so you have to make it all over again. There we go. Again, make it its own thing. Apply it. Cut off. That's coffin shaped. Yeah, sorry, that will do. It is coffin shaped enough for me, right? Yeah, thank you, Serious Dog. Yes, I'm trying my best here. It's difficult when you shiver. Just at the crucial moment when you're about to click on something, it's not helpful. What would I go? Oh yeah, right, so we need a lid for this thing because we've got our basic shape and this is going to be our, because I mean the whole thing, when you look at the when you look at a reference image, I mean the whole thing is based just repetitions of this central shape, this way, you know, all these curved bits. We can extrude our lid essentially into these things. I don't know how much of a delay you're getting on your end. I think it's about 5 seconds or 6 seconds or something, so I don't know how quickly that came up when I was talking about it, but that's the idea. Is basically we're just going to have 2 segments and then just work on 1 segment at a time and use the shape of it to make the rest of the shapes, more or less. We shall see as we go. Okay, so we've got a side view, and we just want to cut off this top bit but keep it. So we've got a lid that's the same shape as the rest of it. So you would use, for if you can find the damn thing. There's an awful lot of like icons down here to deal with. I know it's a nightmare to begin with. When you start using the program, you think, what the hell? What do I use? There's so much stuff. But essentially, basic stuff and sculpting type stuff is up here. That's for when you're doing your fancy type sculpting type, you know, grooves and what have you. So all that kind of stuff up there, mostly. This stuff down here is more for manipulating shapes you've already got and creating new shapes in weird and wonderful ways. The most useful ones though for what we're doing here is things like this. We're going to split. Oh, yeah. We're going to split that using like you can split that different ways. I mean, you could make you split off a section like that. No, it didn't work. that didn't work. Oh, it's because it's turned off. When things are not, when you don't want things to be affected by anything, of course you turn it off basically, but you still see it, but you've kind of ghosted it, so you still know it's there. Of course you can't do anything. But if I do that, I split off a new little volume, which I can then do stuff with, because it's its own little thing that I just split off from the main. So that's what we're going to do. Just do the lid. Side view, and split it just rectangular like that. There you go, we've got our lid, and it creates a new volume over there, which is actually part of that, and we don't want it to be part of that, so we just change parent to... Sorry, I'm mumbling, sorry. Yeah, you change the parent. This is all to do with these layers, how they interact with each other. Yeah, don't worry about everything. This thing is like when you look at this program, somebody needs to tell you that there's only certain bits that are really important, and they're mostly hidden amongst everything else. Why do programs always do this? I don't know. But down here is to do with these trees basically, and whether there's what you can do with them, take them away from each other, and intersecting with them. Oh, I can't speak. And here, if you were to move it out from underneath, its parent object, just right click it, move it to the root. You can also drag these things, and you're supposed to drag them onto these crosses, but it's really fiddly and it barely works. So I just use the right click and move them about that way. It's a lot easier. So also it's easy enough to drag them back in, because you can just do that, and they're easy enough to move back in. Moving them out is a nightmare. So that's not bad. Oh yeah. There's a lagging a wee bit there. There we go. So that is now the lid. So we'll call it that. And that's Coffin itself. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Child, parent, all that kind of thing, yeah. They call it root and things. I mean, what they should call it parent, I don't know. Should call things sensible names and these things, they really should. Anyway, so we can now see it, they're the same shape, but we can treat them as separate objects now, which is good. So first of all, get rid of the lid for a minute. Now we need our coffin here to be a bit more hollow. There's again different ways you could do this. One way it's kind of nice, which I'm just going to grab me. I've got a graphics tablet which makes this a lot easier as well. Or you could do it as you can use pose. Again, use your vertex lasso. You use that a lot here. You leave your symmetry on, and then you could just do like. I'm doing this a bit crap, it's a bit rough, but you'll get the idea. There you go, you selected all that, and then you got your Oh crap. So, an idiot. Sorry. Sorry. Again, here, I've got you to in here. The pivot point is all wrong at the moment because of the symmetry is messed up. So what you got to do is put it back to one of your symmetries that makes sense. Line that back up. There you go. So it makes sense again, and then you can put it to the center there. There you go. So one way you could do this is you can just select a bit in the middle like that, and then you finger up the thing, and then you pull it down until you've got something that's coffin shaped. That way, and then you can cut off the bottom bits and stuff like that. This gives you a kind of more kind of grooved side sort of thing, so it's good for sarcophagus or something like that, I suppose. You could use it like that, but I'm not going to do it like that. Just cause. I'm not going to do it that way. The other way, and the more simple way, and the way that you usually do it when you're kind of in a hurry just to get the model made, because that's what's important after all, is just get the damn model made, is just to make a smaller copy of it and subtract it from itself, because it's the same shape. So that's what we're going to do. It's probably the lazy way to do it, but it's the way we're doing it. Don't need symmetry for this bit. So just duplicate it down there and make it a bit bigger. A bit smaller. I'm making weird noises while I'm doing this. You don't realise you're doing that until you start streaming and you suddenly become conscious of the stupid noises you make while you're working. Right, so that cuts this a bit big, but oh yeah. Yeah, sorry, that would do. Right. So all I need to do is, oh, hang on a second. No, not yet. Because I want to keep the floor, but I don't really have to do that again. I just turn this thing off. There you go. It's chunky floor, but in fact, maybe not even chunky enough. There we go. I need to subtract that one from Coffin. There you go. It's pretty coffin shaped. Alright. Depth. Let's see, I'll just shrink it a bit, I suppose. Yeah, Muvizu characters have got such big feet though. That's a problem when they lie down. Yeah, especially when they lie down in a coffin, so I have to be aware. It's always a good idea to be aware of what you're making your prop for and just make absolutely sure it will fit. So you don't have to rescale it so much later on. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think ahead here because I know how I'm going to put this together later on, so just bear with me as I make strange noises. Okay, so alright, that's done, and right, done. Okay, so that's something that's done, save. Didn't you say that's it, it's done, save the damn thing, or else there was no point, because it'll probably crash and then you're back to square one. It's very demoralising, so save often. Control S, best keys ever invented. Alright. There you go, get a drink. Oh, now. Yeah, it does crash a lot. Yes, PG, absolutely it does. Yes, you have to save often. It will crash on you. But it does fancy things, so it's worth it. Now, one thing that does also make it crash, I've noticed, is if you ignore this down here. See there it says non-uniform in red letters down the bottom there. I don't know when the stream will catch up there. But there's these three letters down the bottom there, underneath that cone, it says non-uniform in red letters. What that means is you've stretched out the voxels, because you're working in voxels. These here, remember, you're always working in voxels by default. And voxels don't like getting stretched, just because of the way they work. What it needs to do is it needs to fill in more triangles to fill in the volume you've stretched. That's what it means. It's not uniform to the scale of everything else. You're having to stretch things, and that causes problems. So what you have to do is go to uniform space, and then you see down here down the bottom it's no longer got the red non-uniform, it now says uniform, and it's sharpened up there on the actual model, because, and you can see it's the same here, it looks a bit stretched, and that's because it will be the same thing. Down here, non-uniform in red letters, which means it's all stretched to hell. So what you got is you got to fix that uniform space, and there you go, you get your edges back and things look good again. And that can throw you if you don't realise it's doing that, and you start cutting up your models and everything goes haywire, and that's why. And it doesn't tell you this. It's just this tiny little bit of lettering down there in red. Oh god. Sorry, but interfaces just do my head in, they really do. I don't understand. Why would they do it like that? Why? Should be up here in big red flashing letters, fix this, fix this. Sorry, I should keep on going. Alright, that's more like a sarcophagus now. Okay, so we've got our basic coffin shape, lovely. Right, again, save. Nice. Everything's fixed and everything's cool, and there you go. Nice. Right, so we need to get our borders type bit that we needed from the picture. Where's the picture? I have to switch to my mouse here. The graphics tablet doesn't go across both screens, so that can cause me problems. Yeah, it's I should wait for the stream to catch up. It's kind of like plastic moulding almost. It's cheap anyway. Cheap and nasty, you know, like the kind of stuff you put in skirting boards. This is going to be 2 models, Serious Dog. It's going to be the lid and the bottom. I should have mentioned that, yeah. Because it needs to be in the animation, I need to be able to close the lid, so it needs to be at least that. So that's what it would be. It would just be the lid and then the coffin body, both scaled the same as 2 separate objects, and also rendered as another version of itself together, closed, just to save time. So you'd have to load in 2 models if you don't need to. Yeah, I mean, you just kind of improvise it as you go along. Make your models for what you need them for rather than what anybody else might need them for primarily. And if anybody else can use them, then that's great. Unless you're trying to build them to sell them, and then obviously you take a lot more care than I'm doing just now. But then I'm trying to demo this, so I'm trying to get through this as quick as I can. Anyway, so we've got to do something that's going to approach this kind of plastic beveling round the edges of this that looks like that, and then put on some metal screw type things. I think that's what we're metal bits that hold the lid onto the thing. Well, yeah, 3 models in total. Yes, in total you will get 3 models out of this. Or you can even have one with the lid attached but at a fixed angle, so you can get 4 models out of it. I mean, it's up to yourself. I mean, you just have all these components and then you put them together how you like. The idea is that you've got a basic body shape, and you can also fancy it up and make it a really expensive coffin, because I mean they're all the same shape. You know, you just how you decorate it really, and rather than having the cheap plywood type of crap on the side of it, you'd have it all in gold or whatever. You know, it's just a shape, isn't it? At the end of the day. Sorry. Anyway, let's get on with the cheapness. We need much cheapness. No, you could do this again. Lots of different ways. Lots of fun and interesting ways you could do this. You could, because you've got these kind of curves. You could make like lines across here, and then fill them in with things, you know, lines and shapes, all that kind of stuff. But that'd be stupid. Don't do that. You can also use you know, like snakes, and you can draw, you know, like snakes and things across. You could use better tools than that. Obviously, you could use you know, something that goes straight, but it's a bit hard. You have got to use these kind of points to do it, and it does it. You know, you could do it that way, but then you have to draw all the things. You know, and it's like, nah. Easiest way to do it is just duplicate that 3 times and make 3 rounded off shapes, mould them together, and then you've got a moulding around the edges, and that's what I'm going to do, because that's going to be the quickest way to do it. So turn off everything else. Right. There you go. Turn off everything else you don't need, and make duplicate of that. One thing. This is true, yeah. I think they actually did create them, actually, Ted Bundy. Yeah, pretty sure, yeah, he did create them. Anyway, we need this to get them from the from when they executed them past the crowds that have all gathered to shout at him. So that's the scene we're working on. Oh, well done, Serious Dog Guy, taught you well. Yes, I will be saving it in a second. I've already got the corpse and lid done. I haven't actually done anything else except that's, you know, worthy of saving yet, so I'm not bothered yet. I'm not losing anything yet because I haven't actually done anything. It's only once you achieve something, then definitely you just get into the mantra of hit that save button. You know, just Control S, get it done, get it saved. It's in the bag. You know. Sorry, I'm wasting time. Sorry. Right, so we've got a copy of our basic lid, right? And you're just going to transform is basically what you're going to use most of the time in 3D Coat anyway. Get used to using this a lot because this is mostly what you need. Unless you're doing anything fancy, this is for basic shapes and stuff. That's what you need. Notice you've got the non-uniform thing there going red there because I'm stretching a voxelly object. But that's okay. We know how to fix that, so that's not a problem. Very stretched out. It's so stretched out it's actually affecting. Just fix that before we go on. That's better. There we go. Because it wasn't it was a non-uniform shape, it went all out of whack, and it's like, what the hell's going on there? And that was that again. This is why people have a hard time with this program. Oh, yeah. Well, it just down here, Serious Dog. If you look down at the bottom of the screen here, just below this, where it says pen tips models here, it says uniform. Object scale 6.19 uniform, and it tells you how many triangles we got, which yeah, I should sort that. We're getting a bit high. If that goes red and says non-uniform, it means your shape is out of whack. Fix it. That's basically all what it means. It means fix your shape, because if you don't, it's not going to look right. It's going to look all wrong, and you're going to edit it as if it's the right shape, and you're going to make it more and more wrong as you go along, and it won't ever work correctly from that point, and I think it's what causes a lot of crashes. Sorry, click the layer and there's a pop-up menu. Yeah, you do that. That's how you do it, yeah. Basically, you click on any layer that shows you that, because it's like, you know, at the moment if I click on any layer, they're all showing uniform at the moment. They're all fine. But if I scale, especially in the up and down direction, it goes non-uniform. Yeah, down here, that red number, that red indicator down there, that tiny little one down at the bottom of the screen that you can barely see. Like I say, you can see when it goes out of unit, goes non-uniform because it starts going into weird shapes. And you start seeing weird blobby edges when you should be seeing nice sharp edges like this, which I am now going to make non-sharp. One of the best tools you've got in here is Smooth All, which basically smooths the entire layer that you've got selected, and just keeps it, just smooths it like that. Because it's a pain to come down here and keep on clicking on that, you always have it set up as a key, which I do. So if you hear me doing that a lot, that's me hitting the Smooth All button. Anyway, it's thinking about it. There you go. So I hit it about half a dozen times and it just smoothed it over and over again. And you see them starting to get nicer, smoother edges. But it's hard to get them to go any smoother than that because they're made up of so many bloody triangles. Because another thing that can throw you in this that you don't realise, it's amazing how many things can catch you out in these sort of programs, is that as you're working away, you're working to a certain scale of voxels, and that gives you the precision of how sharp your lines are going to be and how much detail you can get into this. You know, if I start drawing, I'm going to start vandalising it now, so save. If I, why am I having a good time doing this? So this is funny. I forgot what I was going to do. Oh yeah, if I wanted to like start vandalising this, which would help if I was on the right fucking layer, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would help. So if I start want to draw stuff on here and vandalise this and do all that kind of stuff, how sharp I can get this before I get blobbiness around the edges is down to how many voxels are in this object. If there are millions and millions of them, then you can get really nice resolution. If lower number, you don't get that resolution, but you might not need that if you're only doing basic shapes. So that's the thing, you don't necessarily need all these triangles that the program's creating as you're going along, but because you start off with this pretty decent quality one, the coffin shape that I started with, it's just copying that resolution over and over again. So at some point, this tiny little bar down the bottom here becomes very important. So I wish to make it bigger and put it somewhere else, like right up here in the middle where I can see it. Sorry, I'll stop complaining now. So at the moment we have over 500,000 voxels in just the lid. We don't need all that. So we've got a button down here for that, clone and decrease level of details twice. Clone and decrease levels twice. So do that. And now when you look at it, we are down to 153,000 and it looks the same. More or less. Nah, it's too much. So I don't too much. So another way you can do it, if you want to bring that down, is you go over your resample and you type in a new number. So say I want 200,000. See, still lose some though. It depends how you make the object, how things are going to go. It's best. It's one of those things. It's you have to kind of know your own machine and know how much you can take, and just keep cramming as many as you can in until your machine starts to complain. I suppose down to your video card as well. I've got a 4 gig in. Is it 4 gig? I think it's 4 gig. I can't remember. It's a 970, whatever that is. I can't actually remember it off the top of my head. But I basically find out if I get to 19 million triangles, things start to really slow down. So don't let it get that high. Try and be aware of that. That's essentially all I'm trying to say here. But for the moment, I need that much in the lid just to keep it nice for the details I'm trying to do. forgot where I was. Oh yeah, I was just demonstrating this and I got sidetracked. I know what I was doing. Okay. So there you go. So like we were saying when we got sidetracked about the whole it's non-uniform, as you can see, because I'm rescaling it. It's gone non-uniform, but that's okay just now. Get it roughly where you need it. Yeah, and then for anyway, so it's fixed straight away. As soon as you notice it, you can fix it straight away. That's it. Saves a lot of hassle. Right, so it's taking forever to do this. Sorry, trying to get this done. Yeah. You know, when I size it that way, uniformity stays okay. It's only when I scale it up and down a bit, which is Z, isn't it? I can't remember. That's shocking. I can't even remember. Yeah, up and down, just up and down the way gives you that problem. So just be aware of that. Right, nice. Right. Now, the whole thing about smooth all and degrading it. Now, this one I do want to be degraded a lot because this is 3 million triangles and it won't smooth because I've hit smooth all on it. You know, it does nothing really. It's not very effective. I want it nice and rounded. So I do want to degrade it because I do want it to have a bigger effect. Just wait me a second. Turn off the original. Oh, yep. And then if I smooth it, you actually see that it is actually smoothing quite a lot more because it's a much lower resolution object, so it's a lot easier to manipulate, and the effects have a much bigger effect on it, which is I don't know if it's hard to get your head around or not, but it took me a while to work that one out. But essentially that's how you get it to make shapes that are organic reasonably easy. Make low resolution objects and then smooth the hell out of it, and you get nice rounded shapes, which is a nice shortcut to getting, like I said, that kind of bevel without having to actually work out how you're going to get a bevel around this edge. So that's the simplest way that I can think of doing it. So that's what I recommend. That's Ron's tip for today. God. So it's a silly time of year up here. I got 7 people watching. Hello, 7 people that are watching, by the way. Don't know what you're doing this time of year watching me doing this, but Happy Christmas, Merry New Year, all that kind of thing. We need to make another one of them. Need to concentrate what the hell I'm doing. Stop laughing. What a nice kind of cheap seam between the two. I'm thinking much cheapness here. Much cheapness. Oh, come on, yeah. Sometimes I'm using a space navigator to rotate around this, and sometimes it gets to be a bit of a pain. Just sometimes. So we've got 2 outer edges, then we just need a middle one, and then we should be alright. Yeah. We can get rid of that original one that's there. Oh shit, no, I did that wrong, sorry. No, there's one. Sorry for the casual swearing, but I am Scottish and it is my right as a Scotsman to swear occasionally. And Blender will be involved at some point, so there will be swearing, I can guarantee you that. You only really need Blender though. I only use it to convert it into other things and to give things bones, which is a fun job. Now, if you have any questions to what the hell I'm doing or anything that you just don't get, stop me now while we're still messing about with basic shapes, because this is the time to ask. Oh crap. Oh, that looks cheap. Yeah. I like it. Yeah. Yeah, that worked. Okay. So are we okay in the chat there? Everybody okay there? Yeah. I've not seen any updates in there, so I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it's not working. That's right. Like I say, this is a test stream, so I'm not exactly sure if this is going to work. That's good. Thanks, Pat. Good to know that you're out there. Yeah, yep, serious dog. That is it. Simplest solution, usually the best, because you have to remember that the world is always made by the person that could offer the lowest bid. So there is much cheapness in the world. And when you're making a model, you should always try and remember to add cheapness to it, to add a bit of real world to it, make things slightly irregular, not quite symmetrical and slightly rough edged, because that's the way the world is. And perfect symmetry ruins models. I've seen it so many times in SketchUp models. They're so perfect that they couldn't possibly be real. You know, that's why I like 3D Coat and all this kind of stuff. It's like you can make things look, you know, beat up and kind of used, which is more fun than making things that are perfect. Right, so now we've got, yeah, basically we have our three kind of shapes, although it's not quite, don't need to make this the same, I know, but I want to. Yeah, see, it's kind of like over there, and you kind of get so it has to be kind of all kind of almost like a wave. So I can merge them together. I can merge the three layers together and then smooth them all out so that they kind of mould together into that shape anyway. So that's probably what we're going to do. I'm just wondering if this middle one here, which I believe is that one, yep, it should be a bit pointier. The irregular models in Muvizu were pretty well constructed. I mean, they're optimised to death, but they're well made. I bet we can't get them out of the programme. We have had a go with UModel just out of curiosity to see if it's possible, but they don't. I don't know if they're encrypted in there or something, but there's some sort of block to even accessing them. Yeah, exactly. The irregularity of Muvizu models helped sell them, because if you try to make things look real, then chances are you're going to make it look, you know, artificial. Whereas if you deliberately make it cartoon, you can get away with things not being quite straight. Or a bit wonky or a bit low res, just because your brain understands cartoon. Well, there we go, non-uniform there, see that? Because I'm moving that, it's gone non-uniform. Ah, you bastard. There's a wee bit more out of that. There's got to be a bit more of a kind of angle that matches the picture when it's this smooth, so that will be more of the kind of shape. Oh god, yeah, I mean SketchUp, you can't. SketchUp is not for organic anything. SketchUp is for when you want to make boxes and other boxes and very architectural things. That's great for that. Home design is brilliant for it. But this is art. This is what Will said about this program. I like this program because I think it's made by artists for artists, whereas Blender and other things like that are made by programmers for programmers. And I don't get on so well with those sort of programs. This one I get. This one is just like Photoshop, but it's in 3 dimensions, and you're working with clay essentially. You know, if you cut through that, it's solid inside. It's not just a shell. When you convert it to surface mode, when you click on the V and it goes into surface mode, that's when you convert it into a shell, which saves memory, obviously, because you're not using voxels anymore. And then you've got a different set of tools you can use, which get into really, really fine detail you can't get with voxels. But usually, especially for things like this, for like, Muvizu and iClone, you don't necessarily need to go to that level of detail right now. You can just stick with voxels and work with that, at least till you get used to the program, and forget all the surface stuff just now, which I pretty much do, to be honest. I mean, it's good that I won't mess with the surface stuff, because it might also have something to do with instability switching between the two modes, because you're supposed to be able to do that and switch between the two modes, and it doesn't make any difference, but it does. So I don't do it. Just leave well enough alone, and don't click on that little V there, because if you click on it, you make it to surface. And as it says, works faster but has limited functionality. I'm not kidding. So that's a one-way street basically if you convert it to surface, so try not to do that. I'm distracting myself again, sorry. What was I doing? I'm going to merge, I'm just checking all the sides. That's a wee bit crap there. I was like, that's just... So, read out a bit. There we go. How's that look? Yeah, I'm just going to have to do that. Yeah, right. Close enough. Right. Right. So now, yeah. Right. So now we can get rid of the lid for the minute. We don't need the lid. So now we've got 3 stack layers, and they're all. There's obviously they're made out of the entire lid at the moment, but I'll cut the lid out of that to give myself a seam, so it looks like it's a tacked on edge around there. If you see what I mean. Rather than making strips, you're always making objects and then cutting out the shapes to make the strips. It's a lot easier to do it that way. Just cut stuff out of other stuff. It feels like cheating a lot of times because it kind of is, and that's what you want to do. Cheating is faster, so do that. So what I'm going to do is I just make sure everything's turned off. So I've got 3 visible layers, and what I can do is, if I wanted to keep them all, you know, for future use, I could just leave them there, create a new volume, and then into that volume merge everything that is visible, so it becomes one object. So I'll just turn off those 3. So now we've got all 3 of them into one object. It's a bit crap though, because it's very low resolution. It's only 171,000 voxels, which isn't enough. So we need to increase it. Maybe you can do that with that wee button up. And oh, actually, hang on. I think I know what went wrong there as well, because I just bit that. Because I didn't sort out my. Oh, I did sort. Nope, yeah, didn't sort out the non-uniform. See, I can tell when that stupid thing happens. Yeah, that's what I mean. It fix up your model later on. If you don't know it's that, then you do it later on. You think, why is that not working right? And that's why it's not working right, because you missed setting that to uniform space. I wish it would do it automatically or something. I don't understand why it gives you a problem like that. But anyway, so let's try that again. So you can also increase the resolution of this before you start. I think there you go. You see that multiplier there? It says 4 times. So the starting resolution I think is 20,000 polygons. And if I copy something, if I merge these 3 shapes into this new blank shape, because that is just a blank shape, there's nothing in there just now. And you can see 0 polygons, 0 triangles. It's just empty. But the volume that it can take, the volume of voxels, is different, even though you can't see it. There really needs to be some better way of representing that, because how can you tell? How do you know this? So the density, which equals the resolution, is set with this multiplier here. That's what it's talking about there when it says the square brackets indicate density of voxels in the sculpt in relation to blah blah whatever. So basically, if you're putting things into a new layer and it looks like crap, that's why, because it's a very low resolution layer. You have to actually increase the layer to accommodate the detail. Very strange behaviour, I know. So whack it up to whatever, 8 times seems good. Okay, so let's turn them back on. And do this one here that we've got selected. We're going to merge visible. Tell me if I'm getting too far away from the mic if I'm mumbling, because I need you to be able to hear what I'm saying. It takes a minute now because it's doing it properly. Turn off the originals, which I will delete if this worked. And there you go. Well, there you go. That is then merged. And as you can see, it looks just the same as it was when I had them separate, which is what you want. And that's because I set the resolution and it's 11 million triangles. So, oh, okay, overkill there, but we'll reduce it in a second. But there you go. So that's how you preserve the detail as you work, as you go along. It's just a strange way that it works, but that's how it works. Don't ask me why it works like that, it just does. So anyway, it looks kind of shoddy and cheap. I like it, so that's good. That's good. It looks slightly wonky. Yeah. I always noticed that as well with the voxels. Do you know it's a turn symmetry off, and it has made it slightly wonky, so that one side is slightly different from the other, which I love that. That's what makes it real, you know. It's like because it's cheap, it's nasty. The thing is, I'll probably fix that later on by accident when I do the symmetry copy, because you can copy one side symmetry to another and overwrite the voxels, basically recreate that side from scratch. So I could actually fix that right now, but I don't want to. I want to leave it slightly broken. So you go right. So now, we've got to get rid of these because these are taking up a lot of memory, because these were original copies that we don't need anymore. So, we're also, before we do anything to this, we're going to take a copy of that. Oh, in fact, we're not going to do that. That would be silly. So what we're going to do is we're going to save. Yes, because we have our trim, our basics of trim, so that's a win. So yeah, okay, we're saved. We're going to reduce it a bit from 11 million bloody. So take it down a bit. Okay, see how that works. You always have to remember to turn off the first one or you're not going to see it. And yeah, we're a little bit smooth and that's going to be okay. And that's 2 million, that's a lot better. So get rid of that. Always remember to delete your volumes as you go if you don't need them. This is the thing, a mistake I made is, I've got a 16 gig machine, and this machine, a 3D coat rather, will eat all your memory if you just let it. If you just leave all your copies of all your models here, it will just build and build. It will just until it fills up your memory and then crashes. So don't do that. Try and keep your memory, your maximum number of triangles down here to something sane. You kind of work out what it's saying, like I say, depending on your machine, what spec you've got, stuff like that. So this we're just going to smooth off, because you can see it's got a wee bit of noise there. So just to smooth it out once, just to see how it goes. That's nice. Alright, PJ, I'll see you later. I shall be here for a while, I think. The speed this is going, but I'm trying to explain as I go, so hopefully it helps other people. So yeah, it's still a wee bit. Yeah, just smooth it again, and again, and again. But, yeah, that looks alright. Yep, there you go. That'll do. It's a cheap, nasty bevel, which kinda looks like the picture. Kinda. Doesn't need to look exactly like your picture. Remember, your reference pictures are references just to give you ideas about stuff. It doesn't need to be the same. I mean, I'm not going to put those little ringlets or whatever they are on there. I'm not wasting polygons on that you're not even going to see. So, that's just you don't have to be slavish about it, is what I'm saying, because I've seen some people do that where they try to get it exactly like the picture. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Right, so yeah, just save. You just always save. What are we doing over here? We are naming this. Trip. What is it? I don't know what you mean, serious dog. They are called finials? Finials? I don't know. If it's maths, I don't know. I don't do maths. I'm an artist, I'm not a mathematician. What was I doing? Right, now we've got to do that trim while we've got it in its nice state, and we've got lots of resolution in it because it's 2,745,000 voxels in there, so it's still a nice high resolution, so it's good to work with it at that resolution before you start reducing it any further. Again, you just try and keep a reasonable number. So what we'll do is we'll take a copy of that. Just lay that down there for the base bit. And again, because it's the whole, because we left it without cutting out the trimmer end, and we've got the whole base, so we can just make that now the base of that as well. So we get a nice seam between there and there, because you're not going to see the bottom of it anyway. Or you can always paint in, you know, the join between the lines there if you wanted to in the paint room or something, but that's for a different tutorial. I'm not going to be bothered doing that. Right, but now it looks like a coffin. The bottom one is identical to the top. Should it be identical or should it be different? What do you think? God, that is cheap, isn't it? I typed in budget coffins into Google, and this just spoke to me. This was just like, yes, pick me. I am so cheap. The handles are going to be the fun bit. That's sort of. Thanks, Pat. Yeah. These are the bits that are fun. Yeah, doing this kind of crap. I like doing that. These are easy. This is a 2-minute job, and the painting's a 2-minute job. It's then between going from this to the painting stage, the retopology, that's usually the hardest bit, but not with 3D code. So again, just leave them both the same, I suppose. Again, but they look too symmetrical now. You know, I don't like symmetrical. Well, I'll turn you off. Yeah. I will turn on symmetry for this one. The way it works is that the last side you touched with a brush or anything like that is the side you're going to copy the symmetry from. So I want, okay, because that's the wonky side on the other one. So I want to copy that, and as you see, I touched it with the smoothing brush, with smoothing set to 0, which means I didn't do anything, but I did touch that side, which means that when I go over to here and do sim copy, which will copy that entire side to the other side. Recreate it, there you go, and it now fixes that because I've taken a direct copy of that side over to that side. So when things go out of whack like that, that's how you fix it. And that also means that my 2 bits of trim, oh crap, see that? Oh. Yeah, I clicked that by accident, I clicked surface by accident. Can I go back to it whenever I did that, please? There we go. I hate doing that. Is it done? Oh no, hang on. Can we redo that? Redo that. No one, redo. There we go. So it's fixed its symmetry there, and I haven't screwed up yet. There we go. Lovely. So yeah. So now they are not exactly the same top and bottom. There's still a difference between them. And that makes me happy. That's good. Oh, that's bad, really. I mean, like I say, if you're going to do architectural modelling, that's a different skill. That's not for me. I have never been into that kind of thing. I tried doing all those kind of CAD programs, but I could never do them. It's too technical and too dry, and they're no fun. There's no there's no artistry in it, in the sense that you don't really create anything, you're just using preset shapes and forms. Whereas in here, you're making things that are a bit, you know, knocked about. What can I say? It's just more fun doing it this way. Alright, so save, that looks nice. Awesome. Next things we should do is, oh yeah, our cheap seam on here on the top. We need our cheap seam. So let's just turn the coffin off, turn the box off. Oh, at this point, actually, now is a good time to, apart from label your work so you don't screw up later on. In fact, yeah. Oh, sorry. That one's brilliant. Name stuff. Name stuff. You get yourself into so many problems if you just leave it as volume, this, that, whatever. You think, I'll sort it later, and then you screw yourself over so badly, especially when you create all the duplicate layers. No, you've got to have names. Always have names before you start messing with stuff too heavily. So we don't need that. Oh yeah, what I was going to say, and that's why I was naming it, was because now is a good time to actually start putting things into a structure, so that, you know, the trim for the lid, it actually lives with the lid and the coffin. So that they are now starting to become associated with each other, so you don't forget later on. And because it makes sense also later on when you're rendering them out, when you're baking them and stuff, if they're in a hierarchy, it actually affects how the program renders the shadows and the textures, I discovered, and the normals, because they've got this new thing in the well, we'll get to it, but they upgraded it lately, and they put this thing into, and as long as you name everything the same, and it understands the hierarchy when it comes to baking it later on, which will make sense later on. Just bear with me, I'm babbling again. Where are we at? Yeah, the lid, got to sort this. Yeah, okay, so turn the coffin off. Yeah. The lid, so we need a duplicate of the lid, which, if I turn the lid off, only makes a duplicate of the lid itself, not the trim. Just because when you duplicate something, you're just doing just that one layer, essentially. If you wanted to make a duplicate of the coffin and the trim together, then you'd have to clone it. You'd have to actually go in here, and then you'd have to clone that, and then you get other options for cloning and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm trying to. I don't remember if there's anything else vital before we proceed, but is there anything anybody wants to ask at this point before? While I'm working here, just remember, just speak up. Because I'm just going to keep on going. Oh crap, it does help if I have that turned on. It does help if you can see what the hell you're doing. So yeah, I want this, I'm going to subtract this basically from the trim to give me the trim as an actual separate layer, which is kind of attached to the lid, but not quite. Come on, yeah. Yeah. But wait, non-uniform again. Imagine that. Yeah, fixes that. So yeah, I'm going to subtract that from the lid trim. Where are you at? Oh, trim it. No, turn it, yep. Because if we turn off, you see the lid is now inside there. It's a separate object from the seam, which is now around the outside. And there you go, and we have got our crappy seam. Nice. Yeah. That'll work. Yeah. So there will be an obvious join between them. And I don't have to paint it in, it's when well, you see, when When we bake it, that makes sense. Right. Right, so we're ready to next. Oh, first of all, save. Right, make these wee brass attachments here. Well, first of all, before we proceed, how are we doing for? So we've turned everything on. And we're 5 million triangles. So not. See, where's it all? So the lid's only 1.5. That's okay. So it's all. Yeah, it's all in the coffin then. It's a bit heavy. So that's not it. That's the trim. Oh, okay. So the trim in that is 2. Yeah, that's right. I forgot I left the trim quite high, didn't I? Yeah, I did. That's one. It's only 1 million there. Well, if the trim there, oh, of course, it's only 1 million because I cut out all those voxels when I cut the lid. So I have reduced the number of voxels in that object to 1 million from 2. There you go. I don't know. I don't know if you can use that to your advantage. If you would cut the coffin body out the bottom one, that would reduce that, or just don't know, merge that. I don't know. But anyway, if that looks okay with 1 million in it, then the bottom one will look okay with 1 million in it. So yeah, we should resample that down to. There you go. See, it's set to the same number. Oh no, that was the wrong one, wasn't it? It was already set to the same one. Yeah, this is the biggest pain in the arse in 3D Coat, sorry, but this tiny little line of text down here is the one that you need. It's the most important thing, and it should be somewhere else where you can see it in prominent. It's really important. Anyway, right, I'm going to resample that one. Yeah, that was I clicked on the wrong one. So I'm going to resample that one down to 1 million. So many zeros. Almost good. 1 million. And go give it a wee smooth all. And again, that makes it a little bit different from the top one. Actually looked a bit rougher on the top one, I suppose. It did in the photograph, actually. Strangely enough. There you go. Anyway, that would be alright. So visible triangles are now down to 3 million. That's there's drunk people out in the street. So it's 3 million, so that's okay. That's fine for something like this. Yeah, just basically, well, it's the voxel count rather than the poly count, although that's very similar thing. I don't suppose it really matters what they are. You need less of them, or if you can get away with using less of them, use less of them, because you're going to run out of memory eventually. And the more complex it gets, and you're doing multi-part objects, you want to preserve your memory as much as possible. We are going to do. Oh yeah, I was going to do the thingies. Wasn't I? The thingies. That's a technical term, obviously. Let's just turn everything off just now. Turn on regrid so you can see it, so you don't lose sense of scale. I'll just make the center up to here a bit, because then we're going to create something up here somewhere. Right, those things. And I was getting them shaped screw things. I'm guessing they're screw things. They're screw things now. So how to make them? These are pretty easy actually. hang on, let me just save. Famous last words. So save. When we're saying that it's easy, then things crash. So save it at this point. So I want to add we kind of Buddha shape there. So we go the lathe tool, which is great. Just make it a bit bigger so you see what I'm doing. Right. And what it says is just a live thing where you just pull the shape into what you want. And there's your centre where it's getting lathed from, I guess. You right click it, goes straight, which is what you need sometimes. Oh, I clicked something accident there, so ignore that. Let's click on there. Yeah, it's not bad. You can use the grid markers to kind of line it up and get it all dead accurate again and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, that's for architects. We're just making a coffin for somebody having a bit of fun. We're not bothered. Would that be better? Yeah, that's close enough to that. I look like a bit skinnier at the top. Yeah, it's gonna look like some sort of brass attachment or something, so do that and we'll stick a hole through the top where you stick an Allen key or something to wind it. That's probably what it is. That's what it is. That is definitely what it is now. Yeah. Again, before you commit it, because again, this is one of those situations. If you then click to another tool and smooth it or whatever, it's just going to disappear because you haven't done anything yet. You know, you have to always remember to apply before you leave. If you don't apply it, you haven't done it. So, yeah. And you see, it doesn't really do much. You have to get off that tool to actually see the thing. It's only 74,000 polygons, so not too bad. Top's a little bit crap though, so we'll do it to temporarily increase the resolution. Something ridiculously high, just so that it captures the shape properly, and then get it smooth. See, the higher the polygons, the harder it is to smooth it. And you need to be able to smooth it sometimes. I think we'll get away with that. Yeah, we are now. Right, so. Okay, we're a wee bit off for scale, but we're alright. You can turn the symmetry off just now. You have to be aware if symmetry's turned on or not all the time in this program because it will mess you up sometimes if you're not aware. So you should always try and pay attention if symmetry's on or not. It's just one of those things. Sometimes you need it, sometimes it's the worst thing you could be doing at that particular point in time, especially when you're dealing with anything to do with creating voxels. I don't know why. It's just the way it works. So, hang on. Let's try to get an idea of the scale here. A bit small. Really, yeah. I'm resisting the urge to just grab that and drag it about because that moves it in screen space and you don't want to do that necessarily unless you're fixed to an axis. And then you just drag it about like that. Let's grab it there, there, a bit smaller. Like that. Sometimes the thing gets in the way. It's quicker to just click something else just so that you can. I'm overthinking it. Sorry, it's just it should be centre there, but I think size is okay. Yeah, cartoon size. It's fine. Click on that bloody thing. So it should be over there, closer to the middle of these two here. Maybe. Yeah, close enough. Right. So before we duplicate it, we have to stick a hole in it. Okay, just get to whatever axes. Let's pick one side on, please. There we go. Because I left it high, lots of polygons in it. It means when I punch a hole in it, I'm not going to destroy it. It's because if it's a low polygon object or a low number of voxels, and then you try and punch holes in it, you get a very misshapen lump, and it can go nuts at that point. So always make sure if you're subtracting anything from anything, or doing this Boolean thing of sticking objects inside each other to subtract them and stuff. Make sure you've got enough resolution in both objects. And also, it even tells you somewhere in the 3D Coat manuals and stuff about if you've got one object and you subtract it from another, if the density of the polygons basically is massively different, you're going to give yourself problems. You're subtracting a very complicated shape from a very simple shape, like a very simple cube, and you try to extract this weird shape out of it. It's going to crash the program. Well, it might, I don't know, it certainly doesn't help. I forgot what I did there, I was talking about other stuff. Yeah, I was going to punch a hole in it, wasn't it? Yes, just talking about resolution. Yes. Stop it. Right, so we're just going to cut off. Oh, we could do a square actually, just do a perfect square. The big yellow thing is your brush, but obviously that doesn't really count when you're dragging a square, but normally that'd be your brush or your area of effect essentially. Obviously I could get all architectural about this because you can pull up the grid on here and you can show the grid, snap grids and all that kind of stuff, but I just eyeball it, to be honest, because it's not worth the hassle. And at this scale that you're going to see it at, you're not really going to notice if it's not perfectly straight or perfectly perfect. And like I said, I prefer cheap. So I don't want it to be perfect, I want it to be a bit crappy. So I'm just smooth all there, just to make it look a wee bit more metallic, a bit more, yeah. This is the sort of thing I would go in at the end once I've created all four of them. Once I've finished doing them, I'd go in and damage these bits here to make each one slightly different. And also when you paint them as well, you'll do a wee bit of that as well to make them different. But in here, it's always a good idea to just make the fundamental shape even slightly different. Just because of the way you're going to do this later on, you'll see what I mean. By later on, I think it might mean a second session because I don't think I'm going to get. Well, what I'll try and do is I'll try and get one retopologized object finished and painted by the end of the session at least, so at least I get through the whole process with one object, not the whole bloody thing. I might do that a different night, but definitely get something done. through the hard bit. I can even do that actually. Yeah, I saw it. You know what? Yeah. Okay. Just to show you, because so you don't have to watch the entire stream to get to the next bit. We'll forget about all the coffin and stuff like that. We'll come back to that. Right? We know we're building the coffin, right? We'll just build this wee bit first. Right. So normally in 3D applications, what you have to do now is you've got your lovely sculpt. Now you have to go in. Ooh, made a square. And then do this. And do this forever. And it's just the most tedious thing ever. I mean, I just hate doing it. I hate doing it so much. And then when I see how 3D Coat does it, I bought 3D Coat because you don't have to do it. What you do? You do retopo. And what you do, you tell it how many of those stupid little squares you want mapped onto your sculpt, so you don't have to sit there and do it for hour upon hour, which is the most tedious thing imaginable. I've seen people doing this in like Blender and stuff. They sit there for hours and hours dragging these stupid squares. It's no, life's too short. So what you do here is you tell it how many polys you want roughly, and that's really to capture the shape. Not the that's not going to be your final poly count by any means, but that's what you're going to use to capture the shape. And this is a difficult shape because there's a big bloody hole in it. That might mess us up, but we'll see. The rest of it is all pretty much the default settings, I think, and that's it really. So, and I'm telling the program to then make my retopology for me. So thanks about it. And then it asked me to paint with a wee tool here. Oops, if I just bring the brush down a bit, you'll see it's actually. Come on. Spider. It's a very small object. So this is a brush that I can use to like paint areas that are very thin. Like you could do those bits if they were really exceptionally thin. It's usually the example they give is if you're making like an ant, then you'd paint the antenna in the ends of the legs, because they're so skinny that when it tries to wrap the polygons around it, it can lose the shape because it's too small to put a standard square onto, so it just loses the shape. So what it does is it doubles the density. Those bits are blacked in essentially, or marked out as being special. So it's just for skinny bits essentially, but usually you don't have to bother with that, and I don't need to bother with that. Here, the next one is strokes, which is to do with setting how the lines run down it, which even it tells you don't bother using just now. Try it without. If you need them, great. If not, just get on with it. So ignore the strokes for now. You don't need the strokes. So give it a minute and see if we get success or crazy paving. And we get success. There we go. And there you go. You have your shape. All the squares all done. Now obviously, like I say, it's got way too many squares, but that's okay. We go to delete, and we hold down Control, and we just start deleting the edges and decimate the thing ourselves to the level of detail that we want. And that's a lot simpler than sitting here dragging out stupid these stupid squares. I think I lost you just then, or was it just me? What do you mean, serious dog? At which point did you lose me? Just when I created this, or why I'm creating this, or which point exactly? To be more specific, I covered a lot there. But which bit? I mean, have you not done retopology yet? Serious? Have you not done this stage yet? Because this is essentially the reason why we're doing this is to get this into a game engine. Okay, I'll just carry on now. To get this into a game engine, it needs to be not millions of polygons like our sculpt is. You remember down here we've got all these millions. Yeah, we can't have any of that. Yeah. So, we can't have that level of detail in a game engine like Muvizu or iClone or anything you're going to like animate in usually, because it's just, you just can't have that. I mean, it looks lovely and all, but well, you're asking what is retopology? Right, well that's what I'm explaining. What we want, right, in our animation, whatever we're making, our game, whatever, what we want is this looking like this, but made out of metal, right? Now, we want it like this, but we want it also this smooth, we want it all nice and edgy. We don't want it a blocky mess, we don't want it all chunky and, low resolution. We want it like this, we want it nice. Because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like made out of brass or something. But to get that level of detail, to get that level of smoothness, and these curves, it takes a lot of triangles. And you can't afford lots and lots, you can't afford millions of triangles, like this thing's made out of. You can have a few hundred if you're lucky. So you can't have this level of detail. So how do you get that to look like that when you make a very low resolution model? Retopology. Because this here, even with this has got way too many. As you can see down here, how many triangles we got? We got 2,000. So it's 1,000,000 triangles in voxel form in that other room, but it's only 2,000 in here. So as you can see, this is what you need to get you the shape. Now this is still clunky, as you can see, it's still squared off, but this bit underneath this here is not just going to be our shapes that we're going to model the retopology onto, but also the shadows are going to create the normal map. If you don't know about normal maps, I'm not going to start explaining all that. We'll get to that when we get to normal maps and why that's important, how that works, and blah de blah. All that's important to know is that you can't use your sculpt in Blender or anything like that. The sculpts are high definition, molds essentially that you then take, an impression off of, and that impression is low resolution, very low resolution, and you're just going to cheat and make it look like it's high resolution. And that's essentially what it all comes down to. You're just going to cheat the resolution. You're going to make it look like it. You're going to make it look like that, but using that or a lot less. In fact, it's going to be a lot less because this is way too much. So I'm just deleting all the stuff that's just replicating what's already there. These flat bits and stuff like that. But I don't want to take too much off it there. So let's take a bit off it there. You don't have to worry about the holes to start with. Just chop away. Yeah, you could probably lose that. See, I'm trying to avoid the holes. Obviously, are going to be the tricky bits. So I'm avoiding the holes just now, and just the general shape where it can be described by without losing too much in the way of detail. Usually June. I can't speak. My mouth's dead dry. I'm going to have to get a drink in a second. Hang on. Usually, as you can see, because you're starting to cut a lot of corners here. What you're trying to do here is just get a rough kind of, just start to break down the shape a bit, and then because it's a bit crap looking, you don't want it to look like that. What you want to do is you come down here, because in this room in retopology, obviously you've got a completely different set of tools, nothing to do with the sculpt room whatsoever. There is nothing to do with each other. It's a completely different place, and it deals in a different way. It deals with these meshes. That's all it deals with. Now down here. Because I'm in edit geometry mode, I have relax, which basically, as you can see, relaxes the squares essentially. It makes them more even and sort of evens them all out and gives you a much nicer shape, much more even shape. But as you can see, I'm still, I can add in more geometry if I think I'm losing too much at certain places. But the point is, you want to just reduce it down until you don't need all these lines. As you can see, when you see there, I'm losing a lot of shape. I'm losing a lot now. But if I do like that one, barely lose a thing. So that's when you want to just think of it like that. Just if you can remove lines and it doesn't change the shape, then you don't need that line. You see that? Oh, that flattens it out. No, I don't. Edges, yeah, leave the edges. Okay. Also, be aware if you're not going to see the bottom, just delete all these because you don't need them. We should do that right now. Actually, just I won't delete edges. but this, I'm not holding down control, because if you hold down control, then you do, you know, the line. If you just click with delete edges, you're only deleting one edge at a time, which is a good way to just clear up junk. Just get rid of all this. You can also, no, I was just about to say, I was just demonstrating that. Yes, I was about to say stuff. No, I'm not going to do them all by, I'm just demonstrating you can do them one at a time like that, or you do them by a ring, or, obviously, instead of all at a time, you just use the select tool and then select everything you want to delete and delete it all in one go, which is what I was just getting to. And you can do that by, you can select automatically and it kind of guesses what you want to select, you know, just, but, or in this case it guessed vertically, or you can just select edges, but usually when you're deleting stuff, just select faces. Faces is usually pretty safe to use, and you can just basically select or just go up and you know what you're not going to need. Oh, keep it over on that one, but that's okay. Just, yeah, hold down, oh crap, hold down control while you select, and that reverses. Control in this always reverses whatever you're doing. It's always the reverse. I like that, but 3D Coat, at least it's consistent. Control always means the reverse of whatever you're doing. So, I just hit delete and then they're gone. Well, yeah, I'll just delete the edges here, delete that, that. I do like to leave a wee bit of an edge there, you know, just, yeah, just create a shadow there, just like that. So, because you're not going to see them, so delete that. Yeah, and if anybody ever needed to remove them, you can always come in and stick a bottom on if you want. Or I could if I want. Right, okay, this bit up here is still a bit heavy. Right, hang on, let's see, so that's save. Again, I could turn on, so you can turn on symmetry in here as well, obviously, and do this symmetrical. But again, I don't like things to be too symmetrical, so I like to do it a bit by hand. Like I said, every second one to begin with. Oh, until you start to see yourself losing some stuff. Right, it keeps the shape, doesn't lose too much. That edge is a wee bit off, so I'm just going to slide it over. Again, if you just hold down control, it drags the whole edge. Come on, move. Not quite, come on. Fine tuning is necessary, obviously. There we go. You see this edge is a bit crap as well, so just slide that. Slide. You can also just do it individual. You can just go to move. I usually use it. Usually use it on auto, and turn the brush size down a bit. On auto, you can just move stuff about like that, or you know, and it kind of shows you, it highlights what you're going to move before you move it. So it's pretty easy to just fine tune all that. So yeah, think on your edges, get your edges. Come on, you get your edges. Because I know I'm going to keep these lines because they're the edges, and the rest I can dump pretty much straight. Try to make it a bit straight. Yeah, you don't have to worry too much about the kind of curves and stuff because your normal map is going to deal with a lot of that curved shapes. You don't have to put it all in. With your geometry, you just want to keep the geometry nice and simple if you can. And it keeps your size down, and as you see, we're down to what, 1,000 triangles we're down to now, and we're going to get a bit less. So again, from the middle, just delete our second one. Let's see what we can. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think the next one didn't really need that. Oh, I've got double. Oh, that's on the edge, but yeah. Edges is okay. Oh, change tools. Edges is fine. You just want to make sure they're all got a wee bit more detail. An extra line there doesn't help. It doesn't hurt, sorry. Alright, I'm going. Okay, oh god. process. I think I'll sort that in a second. Give me. Okay. I'll save that there. I've been going for about hour and 42. Give me 5 minutes break. We'll take a break, okay? For 5 minutes, I get a drink. And I'll come back and I shall resume. And then we shall bake this thing, create normals, paint it, and just demonstrate that part of the process. I shall get to that, but my throat's too dry. So, back soon. Okay, just 5 minutes. Yeah. Oh, it's cold downstairs. Alright, where are we? Right. Yes, no, that is not a coffin. It is not, it is a, no, it is a coffin, it is a space age coffin. It is a coffin from space. Alright. Trying to think how that could be a coffin from, coffin from space. No, let me just check. Hang on, just check. There's the old OBS is working. Yeah. Okay. So these are the screw bits for the top of the coffin. Yeah, tightening bolts around something that goes on top of a coffin. That's what they are. They add detail and they add colour. We do not care what they are. So we're gonna again got faces. It's got faces because it's a bit of a mess up here. So we'll just select this crap here. Oh, yeah, there's no. Yeah, one thing to be careful of is when you select faces like that, you could be selecting all the way through the object. Escape. Cancel that. You can turn off ignore back faces, and then that means you're only working on the surface, so it doesn't select the layers underneath, which is a handy thing to know. Oh, I selected a bit too much now. It's a handy thing to know if you're trying to only just select one surface and you don't want to disturb anything else. Oh crap, no, it still causes holes. It didn't work anyway. That doesn't work if you've got holes, okay, so okay, fair enough. You gotta be more careful, because then you got a surface, okay. Just doing well, not a... Okay, delete that. There we go, that's a bit better. The other nice thing is you can just move. It's just next to each other and they just merge, which is nice. Saves a lot of time. Oops, see, you gotta be careful what side you're messing with. That's a bit high up there. Just move that down a bit. Essentially, you want your model to look as boring as possible, covering lots of nice even squares, or evenish looking squares. No weird shaped triangles, no five-sided squares. Because it's reduced as well, it makes it a lot easier to get the lines into the corners because you've got less lines to deal with, which is nice. I know I shouldn't call them lines, I should call them edges. Yeah, edges. But they're not lines. Face it, they're lines. no, there you got to do the whole professional thing and call them edges, yeah. I should take this more seriously, I know. But what does it matter? Right, so here. Try talking. The shape here conforms pretty well to the vortex, to the vertex object here, which I didn't name, did I? So we'll call that screw, probably. Right. And it's a good idea if you can, because that's the voxel object underneath is. Turn it off. Right. Turn it off. the voxel object underneath is still here, because that's what I'm using to model on, and I've called it lid screw. It's a very good idea to, at this point, remember to do that with this, because that's now called something different from this, and that's not a good thing, especially because later on, when you're baking it, the 3D coat has got this thing where it can correspond meshes to objects, like I was saying about the hierarchy thing, and as long as you've got your names here matching the names here, it works better when you make stuff. That's a crap explanation. Just keep everything the same bloody name, okay? Just trust me on this one. Just make sure everything's got the same name for the voxel object and the retopo object. Let's call it the same thing. Yeah. Right, so it's now called the same thing. Okay. Why did that coffin turn on? I don't know. So how many triangles have we got now? We've got 680 triangles. That's still a bit much probably. Yeah, it's still a bit much. I haven't done the top yet, have I? Easiest way to do that kind of thing is just cap the bugger. The cap tool is pretty handy. It's like when you move it about, if it spots a hole, it points out to you with these lines, these blue lines. You have to be actually pointing at it to see it, so you have to rotate around your object. But when it spots it, it goes, oh look, big hole. And to fix the hole, use right click, and it will fill in the hole for you if you want. Obviously, you wouldn't normally do that because there's no need. Well, in this bit here, there is a need because you don't want to leave it like that because your shading ain't going to work very well, in my experience. So what you can do. Select your faces. Select the brush. No, you don't have to use a tiny brush. This is a trick I've seen somebody do on a YouTube video, and it's a good one. To get that, to get more, polygons and stuff. Polygons. I should have took a break. I was going well until I took a break, and I can't speak and I can't think. All you have to do is relax that. Keep it. I relaxed it too much from the edge. I think that. There we go. So we'll leave just the middle ones. Basically, you can relax these things down and make them, smaller. Like that, and then you can just take a. No, crap. It's hard to select. Hard to select a thin band. I think I just control. Get it off. Oh, make the brush smaller. That would help. There you go. And it takes me ages to relax this one. I don't know why I'm doing that. Probably because there's a lot of them there. And you can sort of close it up that way. And what we'll just do is delete. No, didn't mean that. Yeah. And just try that. And that just gives you a better cap for it so it doesn't mess up your shadows later on, because it tends to do that. There you go. Nice. I still think that's probably too much. I don't know. Try relaxing it a wee bit more, so if I can get. That looks alright. I think Was that what a vinyl is for? Is that what it's actually called then? Is that those things are called? Yeah, I probably did ask you earlier on. What are these things even called? I just called them screws. I don't know. I have no idea what they are. Just like I said, make your the guide for retopology is if it looks interesting, it's wrong. It should look boring. It should be very straight, very dull looking, very technical looking. Any interesting lines are wrong. So fix them. See, when you do relax, it does pull your edges away from those edges a wee bit, which is why you don't use relax too much. You spend a lot of time fixing what it just did to your model. Do I need that one up there? Yeah. That one's a bit weird. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this to better describe the shape underneath this mesh. Does that make sense? The voxel shape underneath this mesh, as you can see it through it. You see it. It's there, you know, and I'm just trying to make this closer to it. Oh, was it lagging there? Sorry, I didn't realise. Oh, you mean no? I came back from a break. Yeah, sorry. I mean, yeah. I'm just trying to drag these about so that they're much closer to the original. This basic shape is much closer, especially on the edges, to my voxel shape. That's all I'm trying to do. Because the closer it is, the better it matches. The sharper the image. I suppose the sharper the images on the texture maps will be when you bake this thing. Remember, this is going to be your final model, and it's also going to be a cage for the textures of the final model, and it holds everything about the model basically just in this sort of cage. This is the model. This is it. As crappy as it looks with its squares and everything, this is the model. But it's going to look nice because of all the tricks that game engines and stuff can do these days. Look, it's a bit squinty. It's a bit squinty. It's a bit too squinty. Again, that's if you start to lose the shape, it looks a bit wrong. You know, if you're getting too much sticking out, then you might want to consider adding more lines to describe that shape better, because that one there, yeah, see it better. That one there is, it's a big chunk, as is that one next to it. That one there. So, no, slide edges. So the thing is, if you slide the edges, you're sliding it on both sides, so you have to be aware of that. Let's see if we can get it. Try to see how much I can get away with. Keep that reasonably smooth, so I can only need to add one set of. Yeah, so I can just add one set with split rings. There you go. Adds a little bit, but sometimes you have to add details. We always take it away. You just have to put it in the right place, essentially. Edges, you always want more. Crappy stuff nobody's going to see, you don't care. Just try and make it look like that. Remember, I only need to make one of these, now I'm going to duplicate it. So just get this. Yeah, it's worth spending the time to get this one right, rather than try to fix them later on. Just get it gently. Yeah. Okay. Relax that. Because again, relax evens it out a bit, corrects a lot of your wobbliness. Is that like 705? Still seems an awful lot. To give it round, I'll just leave it like that. What the hell? Right, okay. So, save. So we now have a voxel object, which is millions of polygons, as we know, from the voxel room. We then have on top of that, we have on top of that we have this thing. And turn the opacity back up. This is the actual model. Now, as you can see, it looks really crap and blocky and low res, but that's the model, and it's 700. I'm always been polygon picky, but there is a limit to how far I'll go before I say, no, that looks like crap. I mean, this is a medium poly, this is not high poly still. I mean, high poly is like, you know, high poly. It's, I mean, anything less than 1,000 is never high poly, in my opinion. Not what it is. Anyway, that'll look nice anyway. That'll look nice, and it will look curved and everything with the normal map on it. And the tricks, like say the game engines do, to give you that fake extra shape, that extra contours that aren't there, but they're going to look like that. It will look like that. It will look like that. You've got to believe. It will look like that, and we're going to prove that by baking the texture. So, with the voxel showing and the screw showing, I'm now going to bake this as a two-dimensional shape. It would be a flat image, which is going to hold three-dimensional data and bake it into a map, essentially a texture, which will be associated with this. Okay. I don't know how else to describe normal maps. They're weird things, but I can just make sure I'm selected everything. So to bake it, and this took a bit of working out when I first got the program. To bake it, what you have to do, as you expect, you can do your, if you tick this box, like I say, name corresponding for breaking, you can also then click that wee thing and it tells you, there you go, that group, retopo group, doesn't have a voxel object, we don't care. But it shows, that's what it does, it checks, it knew that and that was there. So it thinks that's a good way of checking basically everything's going to be fine. And then the only thing you really need to worry about, really, is the yellow one. In this program, anything that's super important is yellow. So, yellow one. As we think. Oh, did I? No, did I not? Maybe didn't. Yeah, I'm using. Yeah, sorry. Because I'm using the tablet, sometimes it doesn't click right. Right, now this, oh god, that's the settings I was using before, obviously. This is to do with the, how do you describe this? Well, what? Inside the object. Oh crap. That's like a point. Sorry, I'm just debating with myself because it's got that hole in it. That's what we're trying to do, is try to put the inner mesh inside the object so none of that mesh is sticking through the model, the sculpt, which it isn't. The outer mesh, you want to do the opposite. You want to make sure it's as tight as to the object as you can without the object poking through. So you want to get it bigger, because if that there is going to come out all wrong, and it's not going to have any normal maps. It'll be completely flat, it won't have that curve on it, it's going to look like crap. So you have to make sure that your outer shell covers everything. You get a better bake, allegedly, if it is, you know, tight. There's a wee bit there. If it is tight to it, rather than, because obviously if you go miles away, it's less accurate. That's what they tell you. So let's see, and then there's all this down here. So you have to go quite big on this one, just because of the amount of curve on here. I need to go quite big on that, but there's no overlaps, nothing's gone messed up or anything like that, so it's cool. But I had to go that wide. No, see, it's still even then. Even then. I wonder what I could have just moved. I was thinking, can I just move that? I don't think I can I? No, you can't. I don't know if you can move that while I was in here, but that's no, you can't do that. It looks okay though, I don't see anything else poking out. So, yeah, okay, that should be fine. Check my stream's still going there, that's fine. Where was it? Yes, sorry. Right, so these things here are your altering tools where you can push down and lift areas of this to fine tune it to get it to wrap round properly and stuff like that. Usually you don't need to use that. Usually, as long as you've got your inner and outer depths set appropriately, so you can't see any green stuff here, and you can only see green stuff here, that's good. That's essentially what you want. Okay, so next. Make occlusion, in this case, well, there's nothing, it's not, occlusion really works better if it's actually got the other things attached to it that it's actually going to occlude, you know, because it will create shadows in the bits, in the joins between, stuff like that. But for the moment, I'll just say, yeah, I'll just let it do it, even though there's not much to occlude it. Because I'm making this for Muvizu, it's Unreal Engine 3, I need to triangulate it, but you don't need to do, I don't think you need to do that for iClone, but it doesn't hurt. Well vertices, in case they're too close to each other, everything else is fine. Texture is a bit heavy duty, just for that. We'll put the texture down to sensible size, because Muvizu can only use 1K textures anyway. When I do the final model, I will use 2K textures, and then when you load it into Muvizu, it reduces them down. But it does retain a bit more quality doing it that way, so that's how I'll do it finally. But just for this demonstration, I'm going to just leave it basics. There's baking the model, and that's it. That's very undramatic. The thing is now, of course, what we've done is, if you're paying attention, is of course we've completely done it wrong, because what have we done? What have we done? We have. Let's have a look at our UV map we created. Oh my god. Here's our UV map, right? Because we have to make that a 2D representation. Well, that's not going to work. See, that ain't going to work. See, that, no, that ain't going to work. I think that's like, yeah, I just get rid of that because that's already doing that junk, so I can just get rid of that. Yeah. Because you also have to split it up. This is a deliberate mistake I'll have, you know. You have to split it up, you have to give it seams, UV seams. Whenever people talk about UVs, it's always a confusing thing as well when people start to learn about UVs. But basically, you have to make this shape here unwrap into a flat shape so that you don't have bits overlapping. The red and the blue colours are to represent that it's broke, essentially. But the main thing is, this cannot be represented as a flat shape like this. It has to be cut up. So, there is a strategy towards this. The easiest way, I would have thought, just see, the hole makes it complicated. I did pick one way hole in it. The easiest thing I think would just be to put one seam in the middle of the hole there. That gives me a cut there, and then one right across. So I'll about that. Did I do it? Let's have a look. Well, kind of. These kind of look a bit weird here, and they're deep blue, which is not good. So I'm probably better off putting a seam there. Delete that. A seam there. Try that. Better. Now again, we've got weird shapes. We do have this here, which is still looking a bit weird. So okay, doesn't like that. So I'll give it a seam on the underside where people are less likely to see it. Hey, there you go. And it is now flat. Everything is now more or less flat. These colours are to do with compression and stretching, potentially, of your textures later on. For something this small, I'm not going to bother, I think. Don't know. actually it's just an experiment. Now that I've got the middle bit working, just undo that and then just unwrap it. And remember, doing unwrap it, you're not actually unwrapping it, you're just, it's a preview, you're just seeing how it will look as a UV once you create the UV, but you haven't done that yet because you haven't baked it. The UV room I never use really because I never have much need for it, but that's essentially what that's about. You bake this thing with the voxel object to make your UV that you can then paint. And oh, that's wonky as anything. What's going on there then? Stop being wonky. Right. So that just running repairs, you know, just as you go. That's probably one of the relaxes. Is probably made it a wee bit over relaxed and chilled. It shouldn't have been. I know it's not dead even, but it's okay. It's a tiny thing on a coffin, and you're not going to see it. Sorry, I'm whispering. I shouldn't be whispering. Okay, so we do need a seam across there somehow. You could also, I mean, sometimes you can do it that way and then you can unwrap it, but you still tend to get, you know, you still get these kind of weird distortions and stuff, so at some point you're going to have to do that, and then you've got you're adding more and more seams, and it's just, nah, just, you're better not to. Let's just put it across there. Around it. There you go. And it's flat. So it can now be painted on. Okay, so I'll go up and I shall save. Bake that again, and this time it will work properly because I'm actually baking it properly. So bake that again. It remembers your last settings as well, which is why it looks so weird when I first came in here, but it now remembers that, which shouldn't really make any difference. You just leave that alone. We don't need to put my one. No, actually, just leave it. What the hell? Okay, remembers your settings. Except for that, I'll put it down to that. Yep. Bedroom. Turn off the voxels. What we got? Oh crap. Come back. Where is the okay, where's the center? Oh, it's because it's so small, I'm forgetting. It'll be okay once I paint on it or something. Okay, so there is our little model. It is a very little model, remember it is going to be quite small. But there you go, and it is now ready, we can now paint on it. Because we've got a 2D representation of it, and that is the normals. Now the normals is best described by turning them off. Oh crap. Because that's what the model looks like with no normals. With and without. And that's your fake detail. Oh, sorry, I just read the chat there, sorry, yeah, bye PJ, I never seen you leaving there. I got wrapped up in doing this and I forgot to check the chat. Yeah, so that'll be fine for that size of object. Like that. So, all you need to do now is paint it in. The basic, sorry, I forgot what's going on. It creates a layer 1, I don't know what layer 1's all about because there's nothing in it. So, I'll just go back to you can delete that. It creates a kind of base coat for you, which is called the name of the retopo mesh. Right. The ambient occlusion is your permanent shadows, essentially, or fake shadows. The bits that should always be in shadow, like inside there, is going to have them paint something on here. Just I need to paint something just to get it centered so that it knows what I'm talking about here. There we go. There we go, now we're centered. Yeah. So the ambient occlusion adds shadows into here, permanent shadows onto a special layer. You can just about see on here. Which you can exaggerate as well if you want more of an effect. Right, to paint it, we need to get down here. And we need what was it? It was brass or something, wasn't it? Yeah, something like brass or something. A cheap metal kind of, yeah, that kind of stuff. Okay. These are all just the default metals that you get with 3D Coat, and you can customise them as much as you want. They've got all kind of different layers on them that support PBR and all this kind of thing. But there is one important point to make here at this point actually, because this is where it splits between whether you're going to make something for engine that uses PBR or not. PBR, as you know, is the ones that textures that support metalness, which basically means that they support reflection. And iClone 7 supports that. iClone 6 doesn't, I don't think. And I know 5 doesn't. And Muvizu doesn't support it either. So you have to make a choice at this point when you're going to paint something, which workflow are you going to use, because that workflow affects the materials you're going to create at the end of the process. And if it's the wrong type of materials, then your engine, your game engine, isn't going to be able to see it, and you end up with a completely black model. You can't see any textures on it. Again, they used to do this a different way in 3D Coat, and they changed it. It's better now, but you have to be aware of it. Up here at textures, the very top option is workflow. You see you've got 3 workflows. Gloss and colour, which is what I'll be working in because that's what Muvizu expects, and it's the most primitive form of colouring and making things shiny, essentially. Then you've got gloss, metalness, and roughness and metalness, and those are like the iClone type workflows you would use for an engine that supports it. But if you use that and then try to import that into Muvizu, not going to work. So just be aware, before you start painting, before you do anything, make sure you've selected your correct workflow. Because when you export this, you're going to have to match that as well. Because when you go to this bit, you go export, again, what workflow do you want? And you have to tell it. And it has to be saved unless you've got a particular reason not to. Also in here, this is where you select all your different outputs. Like I say, you know, you've got your different types of output for different engines. So it's got different maps, essentially, with different textures. Call it the right bloody terminology. I've got one made up for Muvizu already, which has all the type of textures that Muvizu accepts, which, like emissive, for example. I've not got any emissive stuff on this, but if I wanted to make a glowing coffin, I could give it a emissive layer, and you know, I could use that and do stuff with that in Muvizu. So this looks complicated, but it's not really. It's just, you know, you've got a diffuse layer, which is your picture. Yeah, I'm going to do it for Muvizu, yeah. First anyway, I do it as Muvizu. Also doing it the Muvizu way means it's universal for everything can read this, and there's no options or no problems basically. Everything can read this. This is the most basic bog standard model you can get. But first of all, I've got to paint it before I do anything. But I just wanted to show you that's why you have to make sure the workflow is set to be gloss colour. These two will not work with anything except PBR type programs, iClone and what have you. So don't use metalness unless you know that you can use it. Okay? So it's always best as well not to mess with your starting textures, just create duplicates. It's just like they do say on 3D Coat, they made this to me as much like Photoshop as possible. So it is just Photoshop. So create a layer. Into that layer you want some metal, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a 2-stage process. Up here you can either be painting in depth or image, opacity, or glossiness. You can paint in different ways. So if I paint that with all 3 on, I'm painting depth and colour and glossiness all at the same time. Turn off the glossiness. Just turn up the depth, but leave that. Yeah. So this is important. These 3 wee things up here are very important to understand what you're doing. Also, I discovered, which really messed me up for a long time, if I leave them like that, where I'm doing colour and glossiness together, and then I use a metal texture, and then I paint and do stuff, that automatically creates metalness, and it messes up my texture for my workflow. Don't ask me why. I think it's because you need to keep the colour and the gloss separate for Muvizu, so you put the colour on one layer and then you put the gloss on a separate layer over here to make sure that Muvizu doesn't get confused. For the iClone people that wouldn't be a problem, but for Muvizu that is a problem, so just be aware. Colour first, then gloss on a separate layer, and then you'll be fine. It avoids all kinds of problems. So I'll get my metal first, get my spark material up here. There you go. Just open that up. I think I made a preview of what it will look like. Change the opacity and stuff up here and what have you. So that's not good. I need manky metal. Manky. Oh, that's pretty nice. What's that? Nope. I like that. It's manky. Can you do it like that? And put another coat on top of it. That could give me a wee disturbance layer. Yeah, that looks like a good sort of dirty undercoat. So yeah, do that. So we'll fill up the layer. There you go. Now close that. Now let's do the shadiness. Do it in a separate layer. Let's call that. There you go. So that's too shiny. So turn down. So just try to get it to what I want it to look like before I apply it as a bucket fill onto this layer as a shininess layer to go on top of the colour layer, because the colour of the metal is separate from the shininess anyway. So that's all we need. That looks alright, I think. Maybe a wee bit. Yeah, it should be a bit that. Okay. Fill it in. Right. Go back to that brass layer. So we've got basically what we want. Oh, see you later, Chris. Remember, you can always, I will leave the stream up so you can come back and pick it up later on and see how it all turned out. And if it managed to stream all this time without crashing, which I will be amazed if it does. Actually, yeah, I need a wee bit. It's a bit depressing looking at it. Yeah, it needs to be a wee bit more fake bronze. We need a bit more fake bronze on it. So I'm going to stick another layer on it. Let's give it some not shininess. Remember, we're working back in colour again. Need something. Yeah, something like that. The glossiness is having no effect because glossiness isn't turned on, so it's just a colour layer. So I'm just going to bring up the colour a wee bit. Not better. It's not cool enough. Just do it. You don't need to use materials, you can just use colour, you know, like an airbrush or whatever, and it shows you, or it can show you the preview of the film, or colour you want to use. So yeah. Oh, but only if you turn off start materials. So if I wanted to make that blue, then I could make it blue or whatever, just by using the colour itself. You don't have to use all the smart materials all the time, because sometimes you don't. Oh yeah, I was trying to get a more goldy colour, wasn't I? There you go. More goldy. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, there you go. So, so there you go. We've got one brass attachment type thing for the coffin lid. We don't have the coffin lid yet, but we've got this anyway. So, assuming this is a model that you've done, as you're going, I've done. Now all you need to do is export the thing. Remember, you can name your layers as well. Obviously, that's just a. I'll just mirror to that. Down on top of the other one, so there you go. Then again, the yellow one, most important one, and then you're going to export it to Muvizu, which is, I think that was basically the Blender one, I think, and I just added, I can't even find it on here, Blender, yeah, it's just Blender Cycles, and I added the emissive one, I think. Oh, it's got a emissive one there. Yeah, the Blender one works as well anyway. Right, go back to your rows. Those are simple. Gloss colour, like I've already said. Where do you want to put it? I'm going to put it here. And that should be it. And if we go, where are we at? Oh yeah. If we go over here, this is just the FBX preview program, but it's just I always like to come in here first just to check that it has worked and it's got colours and textures and stuff. It's a bit small, but yeah, it's there, so it works. Okay. To then get it to Muvizu or anything else really. It's our old pal Blender. Blender. So import the OBJ. Find it. Probably wouldn't see it at first because it's usually too big. I mean, it's there, but you can't see it. There you go. Bring it in scale till you can see it. It always puts it off in weird places, I don't know why. Then we can move that. Right. So we now have our thing, and we can just check that that's working. N and Blender, the letter N for Norman, yes. Texture solid, so you can see the textures, you can see it's working and everything's cool. It's cool. We don't need to touch that. So just select the list group over here, export to FBX. I'm going to put it out to here. By default, it exports all kinds of stuff for FBX, which you don't need. You don't need all this. You'll need the mesh and what was the other one you had to change? It was it had to be changed to faces. Yeah, so I made a preset that basically sets that, puts the scale down to 0.2 as well, because you'll find scale is a big problem trying to go from one program to another. They all have different scales, and everything in Blender tends to be too big for Muvizu. No, I'm exporting as FBX, yeah, definitely. OBJ doesn't work all that well in Muvizu anyway. FBX does, and ASE does, but this is what I'm going to do it as, yeah. I just wanted you to know that this is important, that you only have the mesh selected, because you don't need the rest of the bits. And if you include all those other bits, you know, like all this kind of stuff, it can mess up the import, so don't do that. Also, the geometries has to be set to face, not normals, and you can turn off anything else as well in here that might mess up. Let's see if Muvizu can import it. If it can, it's a success. It'll take a second, I guess. Sorry, it takes a long time sometimes for Muvizu to get itself going. It checks the servers over in China, there we go. And works out what's happening. And need a bit of light on that so you can see what's going on. And there you go. It's got a shininess that you can see though. You can see there. Yeah. There's an edge there because the normals are flipped. Where I put that UV seam across there, it's flipped to normals, and it's probably done the same on the inside bit as well. Yeah, it looks like it has. So I think if I remember correctly, I just have to do that in here. If I can remember how to do it. And where was I again? Yep, you can make shiny stuff in Muvizu. You can make metal stuff in iClone, which is great as well. But you can make shinies as long as you do it FBX, though, obviously, because ASE doesn't really support shinies. Oh, how do you do this thing again there with the normals? I can't remember. There's a way in Blender that you can flip the normals back again, and it'll get rid of that strange shadow on it. And I'm just trying to remember how to do it. I can't remember. Where is it now? Where is it? I can't remember. Well, I'll work that out for the next one. That's how I'll start the next stream. I'll start the next stream by explaining how you set the normals to be proper, so that they are not broke like that with that edge. Yeah, you can see that edge there. That's, yeah. We can fix that. That's not a problem. We can fix that. We'll fix that in the next stream. But thanks, mate. Thanks for staying with me for the whole 2 hours and 40 minutes of it. Well, I hope it's been educational for everybody. And like I say, I shall do this again. Yeah, exactly. I saw you only need to know certain things. You don't need to know every single thing the program could do to make something decent with it. And the more you can do that, the more you'll learn about all the other cool stuff it can do. But you can just work with it quite simply like that and end up with something that looks decent. And that's only just one little bit of the coffin. Obviously, you do the same with the rest of the coffin. It's going to look okay. All right. So yeah, thanks for joining me. My throat is hurting me, and I shall arrange for another stream in the new year and continue on and finish this damn coffin. So thank you all for joining us.